Welcome to the IELTS Chat podcast with me, Beth,
Josh
and Ryan.
This podcast is all about exploring the big questions, the small moments and everything in between.
Whether you're stuck at the shops, in traffic or just looking for some inspiration, our chat is here to keep you engaged.
It's time to talk, connect and find meaning in those everyday moments.
Welcome to the IELTS Chat.
So before we get into this week's podcast, basically what we've been aware of is that we never mention about who we are behind this podcast. The funny thing about that is we're actually self-sponsoring it. And while we don't have any other sponsors in that place, unless you want to get involved, we thought it'd be a good time to actually introduce ourselves and what we do. So my name is Ryan and I run Roll and Stop Photography Shop, a photography business based out of Liverpool, but also go all over the UK.
I am Josh, one half of Memory Box Films with Beth. We are a wedding videography team based in the Northwest.
And the boss thing is about us, as well as the podcast, we do joint packages together. So if you haven't actually booked your photographers and videographers for 2025 and 2026 season, which does come around quicker than you think, definitely worth checking out both of our social pages and finding out a little bit more about who we are behind. Anything to add, Joshy?
Well done, Ryan.
There you go. Now into the podcast. What was that? Does he do that all the time?
Yeah.
No,
do you
it
always
doesn't.
slurp like that?
Listen,
What's it do?
I think I've just done that then.
Don't do it. They're like pet peeves. What does she do? So we've already got an hour.
We've got a tight schedule here going on, guys.
I must say, it's great to be back, everyone. You know, we're into a new year now. It's good, isn't it? Feel reinvigorated, I would say. I always think, I love Christmas, and I know you're a big Christmas fans as well, but what I love more than Christmas and the whole holiday spirit is the new year that follows it. Yeah. I genuinely feel in my bones like a feeling of a reset. Like you feel like you've got a whole year in front of you to do everything with. Don't you?
Yeah, like new year, new me.
No, well, yeah. But
No, I do.
That was the one thing that I was thinking. And it's
live, laugh, love, hey?
It's such a, I wouldn't say pet peeve then, but it's such a stereotypical thing to say, isn't it? Like new year, new me.
Yeah, but it's true. The thing about it is some people actually do become new people in their new years, and a lot of people just don't. That's the sad part.
Are you putting fingers?
No. Who was I talking to? I was talking to someone and I was like,
Do you wait there?
New Year, same you.
Do you set New Year's resolutions for yourself?
We were going to talk about this, wasn't we? Yes and no. Sometimes, I think in previous years, and it's going to make me sound like a prick, but in previous years, I haven't created a resolution because there's nothing to like give up or look forward to or whatever, because over the last couple of years, everything's been like a big climb and I've kind of like achieved the things that I didn't think I would and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And because my life's that minimalist, I was going to say boring, that's not true. Because my life's so minimalist, I don't have a lot of things to give up and let go of and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
I think
quite
you should
straightforward.
I think all year round though, you should try to better yourself. Like not just be like, right, 1st of January, I'm going to do this. Like
people do it for a month, don't
yeah,
they?
like all year round, if you think, I really want to do more exercise, I want to eat better, I want to make more time for me, just do it.
Well, you hit it already, didn't you, before the New Year struck?
I did, yeah.
She become what, a Pilates bunny?
Yeah.
Loves it, doesn't she?
Reformer Pilates on the bandwagon now.
What is Reformer Pilates, for people that don't understand it?
By the way, if you are joining this podcast for the first time, we are going to talk about weddings at some point, but
We always go off on a little bit, 'cause we haven't seen each other for how long?
Yeah.
No, since November. What is it?
It's just like a bed that you work out on, but it's all like bands and strength. It's like Pilates,
Sign me up.
but it's like weight, like
No, I have
more
seen it.
weight and tone. I
It's
don't know
a lot
what
of
it is,
stretching,
but
it's kind of like yoga on
Yeah.
a stretchy bed, isn't
But
it?
you literally can't walk the next day. It's so good.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So speaking of weddings, and obviously when people go through that new year, when we're speaking about the new year, new me type of thing, people start to plan the wedding.
Yeah.
Because they're just being engaged. Speaking of engagements, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to our friends, which is quite funny really, because on the last episode that we recorded, we spoke about our good friend Tamborini Brown.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Tamborini Brown, back with a vengeance, part 2.
Brown, part 2. So he actually proposed to his partner Georgia in Thailand about 2 weeks after we did the episode.
Well, there you go.
So
Probably
have seen it coming.
enforced by yous, manifested it. We manifested it here. That's what we do. We make people get engaged, except for these two.
yeah, it does the opposite for us. I'm joking. But yeah, congratulations to Georgia and Jack.
Tamborini Brown.
What the hell was that noise then?
We. I want to say I can speak for our whole like industry. We all see, like you've just mentioned and touched on, this like massive influx of like brand new people into the world of like organising their weddings. Because even if people get engaged back in like summer of last year, we're not just talking people who get engaged for Christmas. In summer of last year, they go, oh yeah, amazing, and they'll have a little look, and then they'll just swerve it because they'll either go on holiday, or then they'll go like, oh, it's Christmas soon, and they just swerve everything, and then in January everyone just goes,
Yeah.
so everyone gets a big massive influx of inquiries and like brand new people to talk to, but sadly sometimes it's too late.
It's hard, isn't it? Because obviously everyone seems to be skint after Christmas as well.
Of course they are.
But then also you're trying to plan your wedding and get new dates, but it's so hard trying to find that balance. Be like, oh yeah, I'll book you when I've got the money, which obviously everybody struggles with money this time of year. That's completely understandable. But then, like you're saying, it can be too late, and you do lose the dates, and it's such a shame. It's trying to get that balance, because I get why people are doing it in January, but sometimes you think, oh, if you would have just messaged me in November, like you could have had the date or whatever.
And you know what? For me, on my sense personally as well, I actually put a lot of emphasis behind this on the other podcast, as you'll remember, because I think you were getting bored of me talking about it. My like changeover in 2025, this like mini rebrand, mini like the way that I'm doing things and stuff like that. And I told people quite upfront as well that like, if you book me now, when my prices go up in January, you will have got me for like £300-500 cheaper. Like, and you just think like that to me would be enough to make me think, at least ask the question.
It's definitely
but then people still say, oh, we wanted to book you in like just before Crimbo, but obviously wanted Christmas, but then I know your price has gone up, we'll have to just pay the new one. I was like, I don't really want you to.
But from a business point of view, was that like a selling point to your potential new clients?
A bit of both.
Listen,
No, a bit of both. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not totally from a selfish standpoint. It was a genuine, like, I don't want you to pay that amount if you don't have to. Like, if you know already, oh, I think it's probably going to be him. You might have even inquired with me in the past. Just take that, like, just take it while it's there. Because I've struggled with raising my prices for ages. Didn't even want to really, but it's just about coming into line with other people who are either doing the same or less. Yeah. As what I am at the level that I'm kind of at now, which is a reality check for me.
But the whole thing regarding price, because obviously you've just mentioned it, like what we create, photo and film, that memory is priceless.
Oh,
like
eternal.
I understand it is a big cost, of course it is, but that's all you have at the end of the day. It's the only memory you've got of the day. And obviously, as we are aware, this is like a bit of a spin. It's just been Josh's 30th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yeah. And
Thanks, guys.
throughout his whole childhood, his mum filmed him on a video camera, like a really, really expensive video camera for back in the day. And he created like a montage video. I know you've seen it, but for other people who haven't, he created like a montage video from when he was literally 6 months old, if that, on the video, up until present day. And the quality of the film back in the day is unbelievable. And I just feel like that just expresses why it's so important to get a professional videographer, obviously, and photographer at your Wednesday, because those memories, those footages, them images is priceless and will never ever like lose its quality or anything. I feel like we need to share your video just to show people like how amazing.
It was a boss video as well.
How amazing! 30 years on, and the footage is unbelievable because
and it still stands
filmed.
testament.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that it's for me. It's like a bit of a full circle moment because we capture people's weddings days, which is obviously one of the biggest days of your lives, and I hear it from time to time where people are like weighing up getting a videographer due to either budget or they get put off by the idea of having another person there with a camera in their hand, and it can be intimidating. Obviously, I'm not just trying to sell us in that bracket, but we are a very natural and relaxed team as a 3 photo and film side of things when we do come and capture people's weddings. So that should never be the case, and it's, as Beth just mentioned then, about it being like, and Ryan saying it's irreplaceable to have the footage from one of the biggest days of your lives forever. Because I think it's an investment. It's not something that you're going to maybe cherish right this second. But as I've just come to learn myself when I was editing my own 30th birthday video, which is a bit weird, but I won't go into that. But when I was editing it, even myself, looking back, even though everyone goes, I hate watching myself back, the feeling I was getting of seeing myself as a kid doing things like skiing, scuba diving, like loads of boss
Lovely
activities, boss memories, as you've said. But on your wedding day, it's like it's so important to have it captured.
I think I have actually wrote this on my website that it's the transcendence of time, photos and videos. Like, and typically the only time when you're going to take photos and videos, well, in the most cases, is at larger events, people's birthdays, days out, trips away, all that type of stuff. They are the memory makers of your past, and you kind of, and it's kind of a little bit crap that we live in such a state of mind where we're all so present day. The only time you're looking back on is through your last phone contract for the most part, because 18 months goes by or 24 months or whatever it is, and then you're onto a new phone. So unless you've backed up all your photos, and because the way that we've adapted now as like humans, not to go too deep, but we're so like present, we almost forget the past.
Do you know what
then having things that go for like years, it's probably more crucial for people in 10 years time than it is people in 2 years time to have us around.
I think we all are very good as well nowadays. I think there's a lot of people out there who will capture stuff in a way that I don't think it's timeless, and that sounds terrible to say, but we all film for the purpose of social media, which is obviously it's going to be a conflict because there's content creators out there. I'm not going to beat around the bush and say, you know, their footage is not going to stand the test of time, because it will. To an extent,
it will now, because when phones are like,
but when you
18,000k,
but do you want to tell you one
virtual reality?
But what I was going to say to you was, it's not about what phone you're filming on, because obviously phone quality is amazing. It's the way it's being filmed. Everyone films nowadays in a portrait manner for social media purposes.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
But when I come to make that film for myself and I put it on the telly for the whole family to watch as a family, like a little premiere of me,
to look shit in portrait.
Well, some of the footage I captured. Just, you know,
in modern day,
I'd captured it in a portrait way. I had to stretch the image, which obviously loses quality and just loses that look.
Well, it loses everything, because obviously for us, we're not just looking at it, what's happening as what's happening, without even realising it. We're doing what all creators do, which is like checking out like the composition of the scene. You know, we're bringing things into play that is like background, and that background might tell more of the story of like where we were when this thing was happening. You stretch that out of like field of view. All of a sudden, it's just not as, you know, precious as it once was.
Yeah.
So it is crap. Like,
but if you want to see the film, let me know and I'll upload it to the Isle chat.
Poll coming to you.
Poll coming if you want to watch Josh's
probably won't come as well.
birthday video. I know the poll never comes, does it?
Yeah, never.
It's quite funny, isn't it? We always say do a poll and it never comes.
New year, new us. The poll's coming.
Hey, I like that. But yeah,
It started off in a way that we definitely weren't anticipating.
what for the podcast?
Yeah.
No, it's just went
totally off script.
360 for me.
I would like to say something while we're still on the topic of Josh's, the birthday boy's birthday.
We'll keep it on top of
We're
that.
just
Well,
keeping on top of that.
I've got something to come next then, if that's the case.
Obviously, I felt like I was turned 30 just slightly before Josh, and he went above and beyond. So I felt like I had high expectations. Like I really had to push out the standards for his birthday. So I called in a few favours. We went to the bar and grill with Josh's family for a meal in the private dining room, and our good friends Mimi Bella Vance dressed the room as Harry Potter theme, and it was literally like we were in the Great Hall, all floating candles. It was amazing. So I just want to say thank you to them, and also we got a Harry Potter cake from Delicious by Lindsay Liverpool, and again both of them just out of this world. And I feel like
good friends, man.
Just that small event of a birthday has completely like flipped my view on cakes and decor, because I've always been like, why would you pay for that? Why would you pay for that? Like obviously you're gonna pay for it, but it is a lot of money, but it made it.
It looked boss because I weren't there.
Listen, right, there was a guest list and you were
narrowed
that close to being on there.
I know, yeah. I seen that fella who drops them parcels off by yours was there, but I'm sure he had the boss time.
He did, he had a really good time. Nice one.
Are we sticking on birthdays though?
Well, yeah, be honest.
Because, you know, we said that there's going to be segments, and this can be my little segment, because obviously in the past, if you just wait, if you are, I'm going to do this like a proper podcast here. If it's the first time that you're actually joining us, in previous episodes on season 1 in 2024 and the end of 2023, we had little sections here and there for each other, and I used to bring things in, and I want to continue that little tradition and make it like a regular thing because it is quite interesting, especially if you bring in things like one of the times, just so happens to have this here, that was a total by chance. That's actually true as well. That was actually not meant to be. I brought these things in, which were found at someone's loft, which are old cameras, and we talked about that. Most of the time, it's bringing in food and stuff like that. And I get these two gifts all the time. Not that I've ever received one back, but it's not about giving to receive. But based on that, and based on this is the first time I've seen you since your 30th birthday.
Oh yeah, it is,
in real life.
Real life, yeah. Spoke to you loads.
Brought something in, didn't I?
Ah.
Brought something in. So I'm gonna first of all pass you the thing that I brought in.
Sad. I'll turn the camera to myself then.
Here's your.
Joshy as well.
Here's your card.
Hey, if you know,
Joshy.
you know.
If you know, you know.
Joshy's World.
You can open your card.
Joshy's world, yeah.
And then once you finish opening your card,
Sounds
there
that.
for you as well. We'll open your card first.
Okay, sounds. Oh, make sure I'm in focus, right? In case you've knocked me out of focus. Am I in?
Yeah.
Sounds. There we go. Wait for the money to fall out.
Yeah. So there's just Carl and I. Problems in there.
What to get the person who has everything? Nothing. Oh, that's cute, that.
Yeah, it's got everything, Nanny.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. To our Joshy, hope you had a boss day. And to be smashing every year with you. All of our love. Ryan, Becky, Thea and Effie. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Cool,
that.
lad,
Put me
That's
cards. Hey, put it up here.
Lovingly there. That'll stand test of time for the first week.
For the first week, yeah.
2025.
And then there's me present. Sorry, guys. It's like Christmas morning, this, isn't it? Do you have an idea what this is? So it's a surprise for Beth as well. Oh.
It kind of is a surprise for Beth as well.
I have no
What does that say on the front?
Hey, I know what it is, I think. I know the brand company, but I don't know. They must sell other things than just this. You know what it is?
No?
What does that say on the front? Imagine more.
I imagine more.
Imagine more. A monopod. Hey! I need
So,
we didn't think this through, did we?
We didn't think this through. We never do. Oh, really, do we?
No, rogue. Go on,
Jeez.
that's switch you, right?
Anyway, so obviously there's like a running joke, isn't it,
Yeah.
now? Because I go and work with yous all the time, and for the length of time that I've known yous have been bringing the same kind of equipment over and over again. And sometimes, obviously, I second shoot for yous. And what I love picking up is what I first started with, which was this Manfrotto monopod, which is definitely being paid for now, by the way. Because every time you grab it, you kind of feel it like slowly pulling away from you. So,
I blame for that? I blame you and Matty for that.
well, because we're heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I thought, I keep on going on about it, and you just never do anything about it. And not that your films or anything have been any different, but like, I just thought, new year, new me.
Beautiful.
So I got you a replacement of that same monopod.
Hey, that feels
Thank you
sturdy,
very
isn't it?
much.
And you know, I'm not used to sort of a stage.
Not used to a thick pole like that in his hand.
A family show, this, right?
Happy birthday to
Thank
you.
you.
Happy birthday to
Abby would be disappointed with the harmonising on the happy birthday.
birthday, dear Josh.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey!
I hope that wish was for this podcast to go global.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, sad. Anyway.
Oh, that's lovely that.
Thank you so much, by the way, right? That was very thoughtful.
I know, yeah.
And even the little pink candle, that must have been Effie or Thea's. I very
It was out of our
appreciate
draw,
it.
not gonna lie.
But you know what? The thought was there. So,
Did it make a laugh?
exactly.
Does it bring a smile to someone's face?
Brought
That's what I'm
smile to
all
everyone's
about.
face, didn't it?
So book me today for your wedding, because I'll bring a smile to your face too.
I am going to go backwards, guys. I'm so sorry to do this because
like that.
when we was
High ups, low downs. Come on.
no, but when we were speaking about film being so important before, regarding obviously my birthday, and I'm trying to keep talking about my birthday and stuff, and how important.
You'd think it'd be in his birthday, wouldn't you? Haven't even spoke about bets.
I know. Poor Beth just got like brushed aside. And to be fair, you were 40, it did as well a little bit. Because we've had, I must admit, you know, to anyone who's listened from the start, we've had, you know, a few big birthdays in the past 4 months. We've had mine and Beth's
Massive
30th
birthdays.
and your 40th.
And you've had a baby. We've
Yeah.
all had
Yeah.
massive life events
Yeah.
that we just haven't even batted
We've
an
just-
eyelid at.
But maybe that's why the podcast has took a hit, really, because there's been so much going on. And we haven't, but anyway, we won't talk about that. We're in the present day now. And we're going forward. But how important film is, because Josh's news roundup thing that I normally do when I go and do me a little bit of research before
Is
the
this your segment?
podcast. This is my segment. No, but I'm just touching on it before, instead of going backwards later on. A student finds bride unseen 1960s wedding video in a charity shop. So basically, a student got sent a task to go and buy old films from a charity shop to do research. She bought this film from a charity shop, put it on a VHS, whatever it was, and it was from the 1960s. It was someone's wedding day. She researched the people, and the woman who obviously got married, the bride, was still alive, thankfully, and had never ever seen the footage before.
That is
the
the maddest thing.
That is
first
amazing,
time.
man.
How does that happen?
I was just like, how does it end up in the charity shop? How has she never seen it? That's what I can't
That's what I was thinking. Why has she
understand.
never seen it?
Some videographer there going, do you know what? This is the first time when I film a wedding, and I'm just going to turn up candidly and not tell anyone. And obviously that's what's happened. Someone's turned up, filmed it, not told the bride and groom, and not given them the footage back.
What's that? But was sadly the husband no longer alive?
I must admit I didn't research that much into the...
Right, okay, but how lovely though.
Massively.
Still, for that woman, one to have seen it for the first time, but she'll have seen the moments with a husband who potentially may no longer be there. How lovely.
And probably others, because obviously it's
Well, yeah,
there.
loads of
I
friends.
must admit, in the article it did say there was people who was no longer with us in the film that the bride obviously was so thankful for, that she was able to relive them moments.
Probably moments that she never thought she'd ever have.
On the best day of
Hey,
your life.
get us booked right now.
Not trying to sell us from a video photo point of view, but it's massive. Absolutely massive to
Well, your mate,
your-
I was actually trying to look for it then. I wasn't being rude when you were talking, by the way. Yeah, I found it straight away. I couldn't find it before, but there it is.
Yeah,
What's this?
rude.
So your friend who you were talking about before,
Sean.
who sent in just loads of stuff actually.
Has he, yeah?
But one of the things that Candace's talking about, and this is where we'll stop talking about ourselves now, but they said getting the best photographer and videographer is so important. I haven't read this before, by the way. It's so important. You have to, the only thing I read was that, and the fact that it says you have to love them and their work to get what you want out of it. Otherwise, you might feel underwhelmed. If you don't get back what you has in your head, I would say this is actually one of the most important things worth saving up for. Over most things in your wedding, it's something you're forever going to look back at. We saved money using family members and friends who did not do wedding photography as a profession. They were more corporate, but I actually wish we put the money into it. Hopefully I haven't just fucking ratted someone out there, but like...
No,
but
yeah.
this is like, you know what I mean?
No,
It's
but
so
it
true.
is so true. And again, it is always down to cost, but it's so worth it. It really
I must
is.
admit, while we're on the topic of it, when they were obviously planning their wedding, and I asked them, obviously...
These mates of yours?
Yeah, really good mates. I was as groomsman. You know, should have been best man, but we won't go into that. But on the wedding, when they were coming to planning it all, obviously being in the industry, my biggest point was like, who's your photographer, who's your videographer? When I asked them who's, capturing the day for them, and he told me, I remember feeling a little bit underwhelmed then.
Yeah.
Before obviously the day,
see
before I
them,
even got to see them, because I just assumed, I was like, one, photographer doesn't do weddings ever. So they're never going to have that wedding approach to your day, and they're not going to know the day runs and all stuff like that. And it's really important to, as she's already mentioned in that, like, it's, you've got to love them as well on the day. It's the biggest day of your life. You need to be on board with each other. And then I think from the film point of view, it was just, I think, a family member who was just walking around with a camera. So there was little moments I remember watching, and obviously the way we capture days, and I know we're probably going into it here, like very technically, but we film ceremony and speeches in full for many different reasons. Because if someone's took the time to write a speech out and say it on the wedding day, i.e. father of the bride, the grooms, the best men, typically, or anyone else who's in the mix for doing a speech, I would pay more money for hearing their words about me on the day than some candid shots, let's just say. And
Broken candid shots as
broken
well.
candid shots. But on their day in particular, I remember being present during the speeches and ceremony and noticing that they wasn't being filmed. And it was like giving me pure anxiety, because I was thinking, I know.
Were you like, Beth, get your phone out here?
Yeah, I was thinking, this is scary, because I know after their wedding day, you can't
Once
redo
in a
that.
lifetime.
Well, as people say all the time with our job, they go, oh my God, it must be so much pressure because you've only got one chance and one take of things, which is true. But for that side of it, it's like they'll never get to do that again. So it's important to book people who are going to offer you and give you something back that is obviously cherished forever. And I think she has summed it up perfectly. Like, it's put all your money into that. But again,
No, but it's not like we're
this
not
whole
trying
episode
to...
seems like we're proper like book us, but it's not. I'm not just saying go and book Memory Box Films and roll and stop. I'm just saying
Generally.
you need a videographer and a photographer at your day for so many different reasons. I just went blank then. I was going to say something, which was, oh yeah, that was it. Someone's inquired at me recently and they still haven't booked, which is fine. They said, oh, I'm just waiting on quotes back from like this supplier, this supplier, this supplier. And it felt like it was like they were being prioritised before the photo and video, which was, and I'm never going to say to that person, excuse me, you should be prioritising photo and video over them other suppliers. But I was thinking, surely the photo and video is the most important thing.
We see that, but it's only because we know what it's like, and we.
Do I sound a bit arrogant by saying that?
No, I don't think you do. I think you're well within your right to say what you're saying.
I don't think
because it's correct.
I don't think we're selling ourselves at all. Like I'm even like saying shop round, find someone. I'll have one of them later. Find someone who suits you, who you like their work. You don't have to go with us, but you need to get it. You do need to get it.
I think touching slightly again on what you've just said and what Josh said as well, and what Sean said in his message or whoever it was, Natalie. You have to love the people that you're picking. Forget about photo and film for a second. You have to love the people that you're picking, and it goes back, and I'll always remember it. And for numerous different reasons, but when I was talking to our mate Gav Alexander, shout out Gav Alexander,
Hey,
I've even done a shout out yet.
Shout out Gav.
He said to me one time last year in a very, very small and brief conversation, when I was having a little bit of doubt over like this whole 2025 change and like putting pricing up and stuff like that, and he was like, what you've got to remember is everybody on a wedding day, irrespective of who they are, we're all doing pretty much there or thereabouts of things. Whoever you're choosing, whether it be makeup, whether it's photo, film, whatever, we're all at a similar-ish, for the most part, standard nowadays, because we're all using the similar tools. There's probably makeup artists all using fucking, I don't know, what's a makeup brush? You know what I mean?
Conlon, shout out Conlon.
Conlon One, Brandon there, shout out Conlon One. They're all using Conlon brushes, aren't they? Every single makeup artist out there. So like, realistically, they're all using the same tools. It's just their approach and who they are. And so it's the personality factor more than ever is probably the most important thing, because you have to love the people that you're picking to give you that kind of feeling on that day.
Yeah, imagine you being like fuming on all your pictures because like the photographer's doing your head in.
Happened to a mate of mine. I always tell this story. Happened to a friend of mine. He has a photographer in, not going to name names, and the photographer is a very well-known photographer, let's just say that. And he came, and the pictures were great. They were, because I've looked at them since, not that I'm like a judge of character, but like looked at them, the boss pictures, but he said that he didn't feel like there was any connection to that photographer. There was nothing, and the photographer didn't make them like, didn't get to know them as a couple at all, like not one little bit. They just came in, done the job, because they do it in and out every single day. They're getting paid thousands for it, and they just give them like the same set of photos back that they give everybody else. They didn't make any time to get to know them whatsoever. And he said the pictures were great, but I just felt like it was just noodles in them. And we say that all the time, don't you? And like, what a so sad important way to look back on your day, because like you said before, photos and videos is all you've got left from that day and the memories in your mind. But like, if that's what you've got to look back on, and the first thing you're thinking is, but there's just noodles in them. Imagine that. That'd be the horriblest thing ever.
Here's one for you then, because it's a funny one to spin it to your friend about it and say to him, what made you choose them photographers in the first place? Because sometimes I think venues push...
Oh, venue. It was the venue.
Was it?
First of all, it was the venue.
That pushed the photographer onto
which
them.
Might give an idea of, you'll know when I say it to you.
I know who it is.
And it was like reputation as well of who they were. And I think once upon a time, reputation was like the biggest thing, and it still is kind of, because people obviously...
Do you think people book people because they've got the name and they go, oh, we've booked them, and everyone's go, oh, you must have spent a fortune on them?
Used to be. I think used to be. I don't
Right.
think it's like that anymore. I think it's gone more personal than ever.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Which is a great thing, because people are more personal. I always say, stupid cliche thing now, but like I always say, person first, photographer second. That's true.
And if you're new to the podcast, you've never heard that
I'd
before,
like to
but if you
think,
hear all the time...
I'd like to think any couple who's had us, or me, would know that that is so correct, because that is how I put myself out there, sometimes too personable, letting them off with extra money that they should have paid and everything.
We're going to call that bit out.
No, I do destroy my business sometimes in that way. It turned up for a couple just before Christmas, and I said like, oh, we're only doing a part day, but if you want me any extra time, I'll stay, but it's like £100 an hour extra for me to stay. And obviously I got there, did what I was doing, and she was like, oh, we really love you to stay. We were going to ask you, could you do like another couple of hours? And I just said, yeah. And like, I will sort you out the money. I was like, I'm not asked, I'm here. Like, and you know, that's me. That's personal to me. That's nothing to do with a company or anything like that. That's just me to them, person to person. Because I just loved them, and I thought, of course, I'll stay for you. No questions asked. Do you know? And that's just is how it should be. But I think there's obviously other people out there, probably people who've been around for a long time, sadly,
Cutthroats,
who are just a bit more business savvy, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like, you're probably gonna not get that person to person approach. You're gonna get a person to client situation, business B2C. You're gonna get not C2C.
So we're holding the venues to account then now for. Because I do think it all the time myself when you
Right on cue, that
you
one.
see venues promoting, and I'm not. I feel like I'm taking people out here, but I think couples who are planning the wedding day don't always feel like because the venue are pushing them, and we've recommended suppliers at a lot of venues, so it's not like I'm not trying to dig people out because we're one of them. We get recommended by venues, but I always want the couple to come over to us and feel something from us and get to know us and go on our social media, give us a phone call, video call, whatever it is to make you feel comfortable, rather than just going, the venue said the great and the social media looks sounds like. Do a bit of research first.
Do more. I always say that. I always think that's why wedding fairs, even though they're a bit old in tradition, they're still very important because it gives you the perfect chance to speak to them face to face.
Yeah.
I must admit though as well, I'm not a massive fan of wedding fairs on my own
I
point
hate
of view.
them. I feel dead salesy.
Yeah.
But it's important.
Well, that's what I mean. Like sometimes I would rather just be there and like, I don't know what it is. I always feel like I should just go and sit there and edit. So they see me doing what I do at home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then they can just have a chat with me. I think it's dead unapproachable when someone stood there behind the desk going like,
come and talk to me.
Do you know what I mean?
think it's nice when someone comes up to you, like a potential client, and be like, oh, I follow you on Instagram, I've been looking at your work. Then you're like,
them.
oh, you're made up. Then you can be like, okay, this is me, and just talk to them, general chit chat. But when you're seeing faces and they don't know you don't know them, you're like, hello.
No, but I've had it before. I think we've had it before when someone's listened to the podcast or follows us, and I see them doing that thing where they're like, yeah, that's them.
That's them.
And they don't come over because they must just feel that awkward. Because that's a fake, it's fake introducing yourself because you already know who they are.
They've got no pen and paper for an autograph.
I won't go that far, like.
That's definitely that.
Especially if you're Riley.
It's 2025.
That's true. Get your autographs ready.
Weddings of the week.
Remember this little segment?
Hey.
Does it need to have a jingle or no?
No.
No, we'll just say it like it is.
It was
Weddings of
just
the week.
question time,
There's
wasn't it?
only 1 point for jingles, and that's our mate over there. So
Queen Bee.
Queen
Bee,
Bee.
that's it.
Exactly. So I want to start off on one of my first. There's probably loads of weddings that I've missed off, but I'm just going to start with these. In particular, Emma and Ian
at the Rattigans.
Yes, at the River Barn, who actually booked us through the podcast. So shout out to them
Because of the podcast as well.
But yeah. And obviously we've seen our good friend Tony on the strings there. Mm-hmm. Legend. Singing waiters, they were brilliant. I seen the week later, funny enough, at Peckforton Castle.
The St. Mons.
Sax St. Mons.
I was there as well.
Yeah. So, we knew it was coming twice. And yeah, great day. And they were just, do you know what I love about them? They were just so down to earth.
Yeah.
And happy for us to be there and capture it.
I felt myself saying loads though, like stupidly. I know it's probably mingy to do, but like I felt myself going, don't pretend you don't know what we're like, because I know you listen. Like put it in there. But I think she liked it as well. I hope she liked it anyway. Here's me all day. She's probably like, oh fucking hell, got a podcast up yet? But no, but they did. They were really lovely, and they were just like you said, they were just themselves.
Which is what you want.
Boss day, and the venue was boss when we finally got there.
Oh, hey.
We won't go into that.
Yeah.
We won't go into that one. But yeah, we got there in the end. I've got Bethan and Gary at Tyndon Hall, which was joined by our good friend Livy. Beth was at this one with me, weren't you, lovely?
I was, yeah.
Oof. Beth moonlighting as a
that your
That
videographer
was my first wedding back, actually, after having
after
Jonah.
being with child.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people did mention today, I can't believe she's back this quick.
You bounce back.
You've bounced
Like
back.
a duck to water.
Don't even
aren't I,
look like you've had a baby.
How did you feel coming back?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Especially because it was like the couple were just gorgeous. They were so lovely as well. The venue is obviously Tyndon Hall is absolutely stunning. And Livy, love Livy as well. It's nice to see Livy too. Don't worry, I still love you.
I know, right? Don't be getting jealous.
Well, it was such a nice day, and the weather took a turn at the end. Well,
Mm-hmm.
not at the end. The weather took a turn quite quickly, but we managed to get them outside before it went dark because obviously it was winter. And we got some gorgeous stuff off them, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And also Becky and Josh were singing at that wedding.
Yes.
Who we love. They're
Oh yeah,
brilliant.
these all like Christmas songs and that, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Got the atmosphere going. You know what I mean?
no, God.
Oh,
Dead
you
Christmas.
You missed out on that one, fella. And then the next day, I was joined by yourself, Ryan. You were second shooting for us. It was Sarah and Jack at Peckforton Castle when the wind was like something off Twister.
When we nearly got hit by all them fallen trees.
Do you know what? We were lucky, you know.
On the way in.
Yeah, we were really lucky to make it there in one piece. And yeah, that was a great day. The dog was boss as well. Dog
That was the best part. Tall Toastmaster on that one.
Yeah.
He was our mate there, wasn't he? Wasn't the best part, you know what I mean? You can't say not on these days, can you?
Cancel culture.
That was actually my first ever time at Peckforton Castle.
What did you think?
Little fact.
What did you think?
I think it was windy. It was dead windy there. No, boss. I liked
There
it.
was no
I
back
think
door.
there was loads of stuff you could. I think on a different day, if it weren't like the way it was, what was that hurricane called? Or tornado? What it was called?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was called something like
long
stupid, like
names,
Ian or something like that, aren't they?
Hey, that's my dad's name, that.
Stupid name.
Something stupid like Ian.
No, but you'd call them something a bit like hurricaney, wouldn't you? Not like a gentleman's
Joe
name.
listens to this. Ian O'Hanlon. I hope he
Oh
comes
my
for
God.
you.
To all the Ians out there, I
O'Hanlon.
apologise.
Yeah.
Cancel
Oh,
culture.
Hanlon. It's Hanlon.
O'Hanlon.
I
Joke.
know, but I'm just like,
It's become a joke now.
But no, boss
you
venue.
have to put the accent on.
O'Hanlon.
I can't wait to get booked for there in the future. I actually had an inquiry for there the other day, so please book me.
Please book. And them singing waiters were there as well.
Yeah, singers.
we won't name names because, you know, singing waiters want to be...
Secret identities, isn't it?
That's it.
The
That's
secret
it.
for a reason.
And then, finally, I was joined by yourself, Ray. Ashley and Craig. Go on. Take it away. Eves Hall.
Where'd you begin?
Where do you begin?
Honestly, like, I think I said this to them. I won't repeat it properly on here, but like, I've looked forward to Ashley and Craig's Day for a while
Why was that?
because Ashley
Stalker.
entered our competition. Yeah, entered our competition for the Win Your Wedding competition, which we do every year. In case you didn't know, we are actually a photo and video team. By this point, you probably do know. And
We've
each
drummed
year
on
we
about
like to do a bit of a giveaway, don't we?
Yeah.
Which initially was just around like building up our audience, but in time gone by, it's shown to like really pull in the people that mean the most to us. But anyway, and when she entered, I for some reason done a little social stalk, and I just fell for them straight away. This is what I mean about like getting connected to your couples. Like you really find sometimes that you find people who are just like you or people you like are just there anyway, and I told them on the day, and they probably thought, oh, you're taking a piss. But like, I genuinely look forward to their day for a long time for a number of reasons. One, they're both beautiful people.
Yeah.
We've later found inside and out.
Yeah.
And the venue and like the time of year and just the way that it all set into place was just a boss day for me. And it was exactly that. There was sunsets. There was frost on the ground in the morning. It was perfectly decorated by a few teams who've now called friends. Winter and the Willows, I think, is one.
You're putting pressure on me there, remembering them, because I'm
I know.
terrible for
It's
remembering
not
names.
something I normally think off
Yeah.
the top of my head. But like, we've met brand new people because that's not normally an area we would be in.
Do you know who I met at their wedding? Lucy, singer.
Yeah,
And obviously, you'd worked with her before. Huh?
I'd worked with Lucy before.
Yeah.
I've actually got some pictures that I owe back to her because we do a little fake photo shoot, didn't we?
Yeah. By the fire.
By the fire with the piano playing and everything.
It was very Christmassy though,
just
wasn't it?
set up. I just
Yeah.
thought, you're not going to get this a situation again. But that was a boss day anyway.
It was, and both of them were, I must admit, they were very nervous going into the wedding, which a lot of couples can be, and that's one of the things that I think having the right photo and film team, again, selling ourselves, but having the right team around you, one thing, put their needs first, because some photographers and videographers can be like,
Of course they do.
it's you know,
They're turning up for them.
I need to get the shots.
They're
This is
turning
like,
up
how I do
with,
it.
with an agenda of like what that day is going to look like.
yeah, and they don't take into consideration how nervous couples can be on the day and how time can be sort of, you know, lost with them, you know, suffering, being nervous. So I think having the right team around you, like ourselves, we're very accommodating for them. And that was one of the things she actually, she left us a 5-star review on Google. And she said all that in the below, really, basically just saying, you know, they accommodated how nervous we was. They reassured us. They felt like family in the end because how accommodating we was towards, especially Ashley, I think, because in Craig in the morning, he was with his friends anyway, so it would have been harder for us to sort of be like, come here, Craig. Yeah. It was more with her while the bridesmaids were getting ready. It was just us three, wasn't it? And we were sort of like, you're fine, you've got it. Like,
they were gorgeous as well. Obviously, I went there, but I seen the footage and they were absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Them.
I actually said to them, didn't I? Like, and I know sometimes it's one of them sayings, isn't it? You know, oh, it makes dead easy this, but it was really easy with them, wasn't it? We didn't really have to.
Didn't have to turn on. Just turns up.
Yeah,
Literally.
On the above. Drop dead gorgeous. Wedding week for yourself, right? Any more to add?
Well, it wasn't the same week, but actually no, I think it was the 8th, 13th, yeah. So just shortly after that, I was at Will and Sherelle's wedding. It was at Crabwall Manor.
Why was I thinking St. George's Hall?
Which is a venue I've only been to a handful of times. But they specifically were massive fans of this podcast. She went out of her way to like talk about how much she's learned from the podcast, like the hints and tips that you like to put in there, and just tips and tricks, sorry, and like just a general thought and feelings around the wedding day, and like she felt from me, because she had me there, not yourselves, but she felt from me like that she really got to know who I was from this, and she knew that I'd fit into her day, which is the best compliment you can ever have, because I won't go into too much detail, but Will wasn't the like most outgoing of lads. He'd had a bit of a history, which we won't dive into, but there was a bit of apprehension over how he would feel around certain people. And he also started listening to the podcast, obviously off the back of her, and was just like, yeah, no brainer. And it was lovely. And it was just a lovely day. We had our friends, Bradley Sky there.
Shout out Bradley Sky.
Bradley Sky were there. They were boss. And just the whole day was just lovely. And I said to them, I'd give them a shout out. They actually said, to be fair, I can't wait to listen to the first one back because I know you'll be talking about us, isn't it? And here I am talking about it.
Oh, I love that. I love when the couples say, oh, definitely speak about our wedding on your podcast. So, good we wasn't there, like, you know what I mean? But
no, it was a tough one. Like, they only booked me as like a part day thing. It wasn't like, not that this makes any difference, but it wasn't like a big wedding. It was like an intimate thing.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We get it.
You know, and luckily for us, we can accommodate to all. But the funniest part was when she was going like, oh my God, like I've seen it for the first time in real life. We'd already done like a couple of calls before, but I've seen it in real life for the first time. She said, oh my God, all of these won't shut up about you. All of the bridesmaids and that. And I was like, lost that.
Why, what were they saying?
Just to just listen to this.
Aww.
Which was nice, I think. But
that's what you want, don't you?
Immediately I was just like, yeah, I'm in good presence here. Anyway, lovely day, perfect couple, one not to be forgotten. Lucy and Michael, another couple who were podcast fans, and you could tell that because they had a lot of our friends there. Brad and Sky were there again. Little Beth Illustration was there again. Mates.
How serious was you then?
Mates.
So, but lots of suppliers, basically.
Hope Street. Shout out Hope Street Hotel.
Shout out
one
Hope
of the finer venues in Liverpool, if I must say so myself. Again, just one of those days that you just walk in, immediately greeted by a hug. Like, you just felt like you knew, like it's strange really because you feel like you know them already, even though you've never met them in your life. It's so bizarre, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Like, and I think maybe this podcast like does that for them. And it's the thing, if they listen to you all the time, they kind of get a feeling of who you are and know you a little bit. So they're already warm before you've walked in the room. Where sometimes you're meeting people first go there and there again, aren't you? And you're having to learn who they are as the day unfolds.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are a little bit like more closed off, should we say, to letting their truer selves out.
I don't actually know what I'd feel like though if I listened to a podcast for so long, let's say, or like, you know, listen to every single episode. This is our 28th, I think. So if you listen to all 28 and then they turned up at your wedding, I don't know how I'd feel.
You would be, I think you would be not saying that with anyone big or
small. No, I don't mean like that.
Like,
I just mean because you feel like you know them.
That's what I mean, but it would be like you know them, but you don't.
Talking about experiences of that happening. So there's a filmmaker. She's not in weddings or anything like that, so it's going to involve yous. But like, she's a filmmaker, and she's based in Liverpool called Jenny Alice. Now, Jenny Alice, I've followed on here for a long time because I really appreciate how she does what she does. And just the universe had its way where she ends up working with Hannah Lavery, who obviously owns the gym where I used to attend. And and she had her down as like building this like women in business situation up. And I went down and met her, and because I'd watched her on so many different things for so long,
You felt like you knew her.
I felt like I knew her to say,
Yeah,
"Oh, you're all right."
Yeah.
But then you'd have to take a little step back and go, "She has no idea who I am."
Yeah.
She's got like 70,000 people who follow her. Like, how is that?
I've definitely said this all. It just makes you think when we done a wedding and Johnny Bongo was the best man.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, oh, I wanted to be like, yeah, you're all right, as if he knows me. And he's probably like, who the hell are you? But
Yeah.
I do get that feeling.
I think that's the feeling that I guess the people who listen to this first then find us after.
Yeah.
It's probably what they feel like. I can't say that I know his wife and that he's got 2 kids and whatever it is. Cause,
Yeah, they know you're on a different level.
yeah,
level,
like,
don't they?
they don't know. He doesn't know that. I know that.
I think it's even just like, I know Beth says to me sometimes, she'll follow someone on Instagram and feel like she knows them.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
like influencers.
Especially couples as well. If a couple
Yeah.
books you 2 years in advance and you follow them back on their social media and you see the type of stuff that their life events will have in it. So whether you've had like one of the kids have had a big birthday or they have, or they've went on a special trip to somewhere, I feel like I've already got rapport with them. Like I already know something about them. So when the wedding day comes, you can talk about, like it was, what's the names?
Swimmy, Samsonite.
Samsonite, lads. It's going to be really bad now.
Who you know about?
Hayley and John.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Hayley and John were both very fitness enthusiastic, let's just say,
Yeah.
towards leading up to their wedding day. John obviously has now become a PT off the back of it, but that's a different story. But like leading up to theirs, I felt that I could like make Jimmy style jokes towards them on their wedding day, and they were like, I guess,
Protein.
a bit like, how does he know? Do you know what I mean? But I'd spent time to understand who they were.
Yeah, because I didn't obviously follow the journey as much as you did, but I remember you saying that his weight loss, like from then to the wedding, was unbelievable. Because obviously,
But
you've been
isn't
stalking
that
him.
what you would want? Someone to spend time getting to know who you are?
Yeah, I think
When you don't have to. We could just turn up to any wedding
Yeah.
day and just go, first kiss, first dance, off you go.
Well, full circle again. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to start the podcast. Was a way for people to get to know who he was before we
Who we were?
before we filmed their day.
What do you mean? Who?
Because
What's that off?
he's on the thing, yeah, isn't he?
ADHD. Go on.
It is that sort of thing, though, isn't it? Where for us starting the podcast, it was for people to get to know who he was.
No, I do think it's good because I would love to be more personal on Instagram and like show people more into our personal lives, but it's just hard work. So, you know what I mean?
Impossible.
It
Well,
is hard.
that was
It's,
a little-
I don't know how
that was a
people do
little
it. It's hard.
No. But there's people listening, like obviously our mate Greg, who's been on this podcast before. He's really good at having that perfect balance between showing a little bit of his like life,
Yeah, he's
but
good at
also
it.
being very business focused with it.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
if you could get like that, you're off to a winner. Perfect
Yeah.
scenario. Some people share maybe too much of their lives, and then that
Yeah.
impacts their business probably somewhere down
There
the
is
line.
a,
Who knows?
you know what?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because there's one in particular who always stand out to me, and I think they show too much.
Yeah, like you're taking a piss.
It's just too, like, I think I don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I think
no,
you know.
exactly what
I think you know what I'm on about.
I do know what you mean, yeah.
So
I think, but we'll reconvene.
But
after
we'll talk about it after this.
Bitches. But now, talking about like social media, obviously with social media, new year, new me and stuff like that, there's a little funny thing that I would like to share, which is obviously people may or may not know, if you follow roll and stop _ on Instagram, you'll know why. But this year I've started this like little AI journey, and it's given me like little things to do every day, which I need to do today, to be honest with you. But like ideas to like what to post about.
Yeah.
Because I, like you, I just want to be a bit more like present on social and include myself in that. So I asked the robots to try and make me more human. That's so hysterical, isn't it? But off the back of that, because I have been more present, I think what's funny is a lot more of the bots come and find you within your social media.
Really?
Loads. So I keep on getting like people trying to like sell me on SEO and stuff like that, like everybody does. But I also got one yesterday in my requests, and it was dead funny because for a second I actually half believed it. Because they used, you know, the way it'll have your company name.
Yeah.
Because
Hi,
that's like
Roll
the
and
name
Stock.
of
Yeah.
your profile or whatever. But this particular one I'd spent time to get to know underneath. So it'd say, hi Ryan. I can't remember it now. I think I've blocked it. Let me just try and find it because it'd be better if I say exactly what it said.
3 hours later.
No, it won't be like that. But I've just got it on the wrong profile.
Speaking of ChatGPT.
No, don't go away. This is good.
God, here we go. Any second
It's
now.
blocked it off. It's blocked it off because I blocked the thing. It's definitely a bot because it had no followers, no posts, no nothing. So it's definitely a bot. But it was dead funny because I thought, is this where we are now? And I said, hi Ryan. Can't believe I'm actually doing this. So embarrassed. But was that you in the supermarket this morning? Please don't be offended to not reply, but I'd love to know if it was. And I just thought, what a weird, like, catfishy, like...
That could have been real, though.
It weren't, because I went in the supermarket for a small part of it. For a half a second, I was like...
You're always in the Tesco.
I do live in the Tesco.
That's what I mean.
If you live anywhere near, like, Lidl and Tesco...
Crosby.
Hawthorne Road... Crosby, sorry. Just by Formby there. You'll see me in there every night, probably because I live there. I'm there more than the staff.
Are you on first name name basis?
Probably, yeah. They're like, even if I walked out with everything with the tag still on, I go, wouldn't be in. See it every day. I actually think about that quite regularly.
Money
but
heist.
this thing, and I was like, I was almost half going to reply to it and going, yes, that was me in the supermarket. What aisle were you in? And, you know, like, play with it a little bit to see if it was a person trying to scam you out of money or what, but I didn't. But I just thought, isn't it funny the way you become more, like, social and, like, these little things come and find you? It does my head in, actually. It's probably why I don't.
Speaking of ChatGPT, though, it's become a thing where in the trendy world, what's happening for 2025, people are starting to go on ChatGPT to write either their vows or the speeches. How do we feel, guys, about that?
Oh, what a lovely talking point.
I know.
You just made that up now?
No, it's a bit of research that it was just hidden away in my phone, but yeah.
It's a funny one. As someone who uses, for people who don't know, ChatGPT is basically an AI assisted program that you can like type almost anything into, whether it be questions or help on certain documents or whatever like that. And this robot is so advanced, it'll give you a human kind of answer to everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
And it'll help you write documents and all stuff like that. But anyway, that's the
Great for I must admit, great for admin side of things.
great for all kinds of stuff. But I'm like a bit of a user of it. Like sometimes when I'm struggling to like, I'll know what I want to write, I know what I want to say, but I don't say it in like the best of flows, should we say?
That's what I think about the vows, though.
I'll ask that to kind of like make it into a bit of better flow for me. Like a lot of these captions that I've used on recent posts,
I can tell.
they're my words, but they've been organised in a way that like is just more digestible for the end user because it's almost more human than us.
So can I just go on? Finish.
I was just going to say, so on the point of it writing your special vows, as long as you're giving it the words that you want it to say, I've got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes when you are so emotional and when you are writing things down, you do kind of get a bit lost.
Trying to like articulate is
Essentially,
another
yeah. Like you find it difficult to like piecing the piece together because all you're doing is you're thinking of certain points and times and moments and memories and whatever. So trying to write that in like a flow that like people would like connect with on a wedding day would be difficult.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. But if you've just went on it and went, hi, need to write a speech for me wedding day. I'm the groom speech.
Crack on.
And
do you know what? Why don't we do it now?
And it will listen, it'll give you it. I'm going to do it right now. It'll give you it.
Let me do it.
No, I want to do it.
You carry on talking. Go on.
But it'll give you it. Exactly what you say. But I think there's a balance. There's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you've used it. But if you can say to it like, my name's Ryan. I'm a groom getting married at venue to my bride, Becky. I want to write a wedding speech that shows a lot of emotion from me. Speak about these moments, and you can type in, you know, the time that we went to Paris, the time that we went to wherever. Yeah. Like, speak how she's been great since the kids. But like, if you give it what you want it to say, it will write it in a way that still seems like it's you.
Yeah. And I think that's okay.
But
that's all right.
Hang on a minute, Beth. If I went on ChatGPT, if we were getting married, and I went on ChatGPT and asked it to write a speech for me, and I just didn't really, it was just very generic.
No, but
and you found out, how would you feel?
No, but I know what you're saying. I wouldn't be happy if it was generic, but if I didn't get onto it, it's got to be like 50-50, I think.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence means the world to Becky and me. I'm Ryan. We're so grateful that we get to share this special moment with people we love. As I stand here looking at my beautiful bride, Becky, From the very first day I met you, I knew something was different. Your kindness, your laughter, and the way you care. You've definitely used this on your yes.
I haven't. Now, so that
It went out when you got married.
this is a good way. If you're going to use this, and this is like for the grooms out there, because I know there's some grooms listening now. So that's a very like informal, very like it just went on it and it just went bump. People will know on a wedding day. People will know on a wedding day that that's not you.
No, they won't.
Especially if you're not a talky groom. Like people could maybe assume that that's me because
like
I do speak a little bit like that, like a bit of a tit.
Yeah.
But if you now go on that and just say, now write it a bit more humane with a bit of a Scouse humour.
Write this. More
Also
Scouse.
add in that I'm not a big one for talking and I don't like to use big words. Write that. And it'll give you the most perfect like.
I've just put then. Can you write it in like Scouse and it's put, all right everyone, if I can just get your attention for a minute. Can just get your attention for a minute. First off, massive thank you to all of you being here today. It means the world, both to me and Becky, that you've come to share this. Now where do I even begin? Becky, love, you are my world. Does that seem weird to me saying
That sounds
Becky?
like the way you're reading it sounds more like a person, doesn't it?
And this is where it falls short. It says, and I feel like the luckiest bloke in Liverpool.
Yeah. So if now this is how I can go even further as well because I've spent time on this. I have. If you now do that and go take out where you say luckiest bloke and replace it with luckiest lad, and it'll just rewrite the whole thing. And not only will it rewrite exactly that little sentence, it'll rewrite it because it now understands you more, what you want more.
Yeah.
It's got that. It's petrifying.
It's quite dangerous, isn't it, in a way?
But if I turn up to any weddings in the future now and any lads just go, yeah, nice one, birds look on sound, bridesmaids look all right, nice one for dark, give me your hand in marriage, see you later. If you come out with that, I'll be fuming. Because there's something that can like literally write it for you.
So there you go to all the grooms out there and even brides who do want to do a speech. A little bit more personal, you know what I mean?
I feel like we could really dive into that.
You love all that though, don't you?
I love it. Like, I don't think it's
right, anyway, let's just get back to the
I don't think it's uncommon knowledge now that I do love a bit of like future thinking and a bit of future tech. Obviously I bought the living shit out of the other week when I went and done that the fucking Apple headset thing. But like I'm just future focused.
I know you are, mate.
Do you know what
I know you are.
Can't change who I am.
Speaking of like other trends, I've come with a bit of research.
Said you hadn't on before.
Grooms.
Someone's been on ChatGPT. Give me 5 examples of something I can talk about on the web podcast.
Hey, you got me.
Guilty.
Grooms who are also now doing outfit changes. How do we feel
That a thing?
It reckons on ChatGPT. No,
I've seen
on
lads,
this art. Independent.
I've seen lads change the shirt.
Yeah, or like the jacket.
Yeah, I've seen lads also go on for a full shower as well and like re-pamper themselves.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing.
That was a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
I just don't understand where
Hygienic.
you would do it.
In the bed, in your shower.
Oh, okay, Josh.
Where else are you meant to do it?
No, but I mean, where in the day? I know, obviously, between when your meals end and there, it's probably your prime time.
To be.
But like that little bit of like takeaway time is probably the only part where you can like not be the groom for a bit.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of like chill out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just on my own there. Or...
No, I agree. I completely agree. And I also think that the day itself, how, again, we speak about it all the time, how short the day is actually. It's really, really short.
Yeah,
Do you know what I actually thought, and just popped into my head right this second, is I wanted to discuss this, but I don't want to go too much in detail. But do you genuinely think this would be a good idea? Having your wedding shoot with your photographers and videographers on a different day than your actual wedding day?
I can see that from both sides.
Yeah, I can see why you're saying it, but
And the reason being,
I don't know.
the reason
It's not your
being,
wedding day then, is it?
I get what you're saying. It's not your wedding day, but the reason being is you could literally get your hair and makeup done just for photos, and your
You will be
time,
pristine.
and your time is just going to be allocated for photos and film. So there's no one else there, just you two, and you can be in the moment, and there's no pressure for getting pulled from pillar to post from the venue, from your guests, from whoever. You can literally just
But
focus solely
sometimes
on.
that getting pulled from pillar to post can make the shot.
Part of the excitement.
Well, yeah, you could be like,
I think so.
obviously a little bit merry, which may help some people relax more. Then also it could be like, right, we've got to go now because we've got to go and see the room. And like those walking shots from there to the room could be the shot because the sun's
Happens all the
right
time.
there.
Yeah.
And I just feel, so yeah, I don't think I could do it.
Guys, I'm not saying that I want to do that. It was just putting it out there into the
But
air.
obviously, while you are saying that, we were in Paris recently for a few nights away, and there was so many couples, brides and grooms, whether it was fashion or actual weddings, we obviously didn't know, but there was so many people there getting pictures, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, why are all these people, wasn't there loads of couples?
I know why.
Go on.
Because they were all part of the Avanza workshop.
Shout out to Vanza.
Shout out Greg and the Avanza workshop.
But there was so many couples getting it didn't
Couple
look like
shoots.
it looked like couple shoots. Yeah, it didn't look like an actual.
That is actually a thing, and obviously not so much of a big thing here, as far as I know. But like, I think people regularly in some of the bigger cities do just go and get some pictures together. I remember, actually, funnily enough, this has just sprung to my mind. I remember once upon a time when I wasn't doing weddings or any type of real photography specifically. I remember I started making a little page so that people could visit Liverpool, and you do them like a couple's guided tour. But part of the guided tour, showing them certain sights and sounds and whatever, was that you get some couples shots done, and then like more professional and whatever, rather than YouTube trying to both selfie it all the way that you're going around. Didn't take off because they didn't actually release it, but I can understand how that would work.
There we
Very
go.
niche clientele, though, I think.
Very niche, but is it niche then? This is why.
Yeah, I know, everyone's like...
Must be about 8 years ago now that I was thinking like that. But now everyone just wants the photos and pictures to come, don't they? Like,
Next day.
coming from the birth of content creators as well, I think everything needs to be now.
Instant.
The best it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's question time. Oh, we've missed that.
Oh, we've missed that.
I've missed that.
We have indeed.
I've just had a chocolate muffin in that break, so it's probably all in my teeth as well.
Let's have a look. No, it's sad. You're all right.
Zoom in.
You can tell it was triple chocolate.
Yeah, teeth are all black now. So we have got some questions sent in, guys. First one's off the real Gary Barker, which was one of our previous guests. Which I actually,
Where's my photos off, right? That's all she says.
which is quite funny, really, because we spoke before, didn't we, right, off saying how many brilliant suppliers / guests we've had on for 2024, because we put a little story up on
I've
Instagram,
seen that.
and the amount of like big hitters we had, we just couldn't believe. So thank you to all of them for coming on in the first place. And if you want to come back on, you know where we are.
We're always there for a part 2 or 3 in Abby's case.
Abby's case, definitely. But real Gary Barker, which, Gary, come on, real Gary Barker in 2025. We can just go to Gary, you know, just stick to Gary Barker. The reason why I'm doing this, he has got a bleed sick as well. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm back in focus. The reason why I'm doing this is because he's sticked me up here a little bit. He's put, Josh looks fantastic, I think, after childbirth. Isn't she here? Hi, real Gary Barker. Real Gary Barker. Do you know every time I see him,
Right, can we just make sure that sticks now, that we're going to call him the real Gary Barker?
Yeah. And what's more even funny is he probably won't even listen to this episode.
Can I just say though about the real Gary Barker, and I don't know if this is like public knowledge.
Go on.
But real Gary Barker wasn't going to be the real Gary Barker, according to him.
Go on, what's his name going to be?
He was talking about like just packing in the singing part.
Why?
I don't know.
And doing what?
Well, he's got the 3 Graces, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, there's a pub which used to be formerly Jürgen's Bar.
Jürgen.
Just opposite the Lava Buildings. He's took that over. It's now been renamed 3 Graces under his management. So I think he was just a bit like, God, it's just a bit
It's a lot on...
too much, especially with kids and a wife and all that. So I think he was deliberating it. But then since then, I've seen him getting bookings all across the years. So I think he's full of shit. The real Gary Barker's not going anywhere.
He probably enjoys it as well too much. I know it's a lot, but he obviously enjoys it.
And you know what else?
He thrives off that.
He's really good at it as well.
So it would be a loss, I think, if he did.
So, Gary, childbirth was hard.
Stop it, Gary! I haven't said that for ages.
Do it again.
Stop it, Gary. Looked at the camera when I said those.
Good. Disgusting. Gemma.
What did he say anyway?
He said Josh looks fantastic after
Oh,
childbirth.
I thought
I'm
it was
saying
a
he's 3 months the bus.
More of a statement rather than a question.
Yeah. And this is another one. Gemma on wedding photography. I feel like we worked with her recently at the Hilton with Sonny and Vicky's wedding.
Yeah, that's where I thought, yeah.
she was a big fan of you, right? I think she had a little secret crush on you. Watch out, Becky.
Doesn't.
I know. Aye.
I'm being serious.
The girl on the boss wanted a piece of me out of Tesco yesterday.
Seeing you down the aisle three.
Seeing you on the frozen food section.
Everything was melting.
Yeah.
She put, why are you all so tanned? What's the secret?
White balance.
For all the photographers and videographers out there, you know what we're on about. Yeah. She's saying that she knows she's a photographer, I've realised. She knows white balance is.
I don't know. Are we tanned? I think we actually mentioned this before, he's got like olivey skin, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I am definitely not tanned, but
You're
I think...
not tanned, but you always look dead pristine, I must say.
I've had a shower today.
Just today.
Just for the podcast.
New year, new me.
I was about to say I've washed me and I was like, I actually haven't.
It's a preset, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be
It's got to be a preset on our thumbnails and stuff.
I think as well, maybe what she's referring to is when we post the pictures of what we do, I think the preset that you use when you do them pictures is quite a warmer tone.
Yeah.
So I think we do always look quite... Because I've even looked at myself in some of them pictures, like the ones
easy
used this morning on the story. No, not like that. Used on the stories this morning about saying like the people we had on and that we're filming today, and I thought, fucking hell, I look black there.
I'm looking good health.
Good little colour tone on me there.
And do you know what? We've got no other questions, but we do have, obviously, back to... we have a few messages that people have sent in, really, regarding wedding days and just missing the podcast in general.
My good friend Maisie did say she's made up to have us back.
She is. She's going to be looking forward to hearing our lovely voices.
The Northwest Wedding Show also said, can't wait to listen. Just little
which is
shout
nice.
Out to you guys there. Hopefully we get to speak to you a little bit more about what we said in the background. Little teaser there for the audience.
A breadcrumb.
Little breadcrumb.
But Natalie, who was our good friend, who sent in a little message saying they did their own vows, and as scary as that sounds, she would suggest it to everybody because it's the only time you're ever going to get the chance in front of everybody to say how much the other person means to you.
I would agree.
And it comes from the heart, and you know, as she says, in everyday life we're also busy, we don't really stand and stop still and say to the other person that we love
what we truly feel.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes even if you do say it, you just say it so frequently that it becomes like a little bit lost, maybe.
Yeah.
But I would agree fully that for all the weddings that we see, and sometimes we get to see celebrant weddings, don't we, which isn't a registrar, it's somebody else or a priest or whatever. And they pull that true story out, don't they? It's the same for your own vows.
Yeah.
And it just makes the day. Even for us, I'm still sitting there like, you've really thought that through.
And a big no-no that she said was she had her mum stay in the hotel room with her, who happened to snore. So, big mistake, because she was awake up until 4 a.m. and had to be up for 6 a.m. for makeup. So
that was a long day.
But do you know what? Do you know what's funny? Again, full circle, going backwards a little bit. Ashley and Chris's, it's Craig. That's you, that, isn't it?
Right.
This is you.
Wait
this
for
is
it.
You.
No, I'm just going to say this. So, off the back of Ashley and Craig's wedding, I wrote out this lovely, piece. And I got a load of their photos together, and I put it all together, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to post this, because obviously it was such a perfect day and all stuff like that. And I think because I'd literally that second just been having a conversation with somebody in my emails called Chris.
Hang on.
No, that was actually true.
It's got to be because we done Ashley and Chris's wedding.
No, but it weren't. Because
no, but we did Ashley and Chris's wedding.
No, I know we did Ashley and Chris, but that weren't that situation. Because the funniest part about
that makes more sense what I'm saying, though, why I got mixed up.
Well, that's not why I got mixed up. The reason why I got mixed up is I was talking to somebody on emails called Chris.
So it's got to sound more legit.
Yeah.
It is legit. I'm not a dishonest person, I'll have you know. I wouldn't make it up just because it sounds better.
I think because you've got to the age of 40 now, you forgot where Ashley and Chris come from.
What was I doing this morning? I hate this bit. So I think walking stick back.
I think when Ashley and Craig went to you.
I think Craig.
For people who don't know, basically I've done this like every day. I try and get a little next day post out just to say loved yesterday.
What makes it worse was ChatGPT wrote it for you.
It didn't. But I wrote Ashley and Chris. Obviously his name is Craig. The funniest part about it is they actually accepted the collab. So did Craig. And then I think immediately after, Craig put it back. It was like, oh no, actually, I don't want to be tagged in this.
Back out of this.
And I was thinking, what's happened there? And then Ashley messaged me and went, oh my God, right, can't believe it. Thanks again so much for yesterday, blah, blah, blah. Just one little thing. Could you change Craig's name from Chris? And I was like, the fuck are you on about? So I looked and I was like, oh my God, how have I done that? The funniest part is, I know I definitely did it totally by mistake because I had to search Craig in Instagram to tag him in. So of course I knew his name was Craig, but I don't think he's spoke to me since.
Oh.
So I've lost one friend, but at least
Still got
that's
Chris.
all right with me still. So I was about that, Chris. I had to.
And they listen as well, so they're going to be...
Craig, you have to be half forever. That's true, that.
Yeah, very true. And going back to what Natalie said was, this is a little tip for brides, I think, because she's a bride herself. She's put, I spent most of my wedding night on the dance floor and she hardly spoke to anyone.
True story.
But she was having too much fun and she doesn't feel guilty about it. And I agree with that.
That's right, girl.
It's
She
right.
had I mean, we all had an absolute ball, and I
Had a
don't think I've
ball.
ever danced
Was
so
you there?
much. Yeah, I was guest.
I know.
I don't think-
I'm not invited to weddings.
I don't think I've ever
Complex.
danced that long in my life. We were on the dance floor for hours, and she was still up for it when the party finished. She was like, "Should we go to where did she want to go?" She was like,
go
"Should
to
we
the
go?"
gaff.
She was like, "Should we go to Garland?" And I was like,
Fucking hell.
"Oh no, we
You wearing
cannot
a
go."
dress?
Yeah, I went. What? I've got nothing to wear, but I can just wear my dress, can't I? And I was like, "Absolutely not."
Do you know what?
I think
The
you should
funniest
go to
part about
bed. Good
Garlands
on
is-
you.
I was going to say
but-
Garland.
They would have been like, wow,
Yeah.
for that all the lads
Yeah.
would have been like,
Was Garland still going then though when she got married?
they might have been like, they have like random nights, don't they?
That's how long we've been to, like last
Yeah,
saying
we
that. We were
was.
out recently for my birthday and we were like,
You haven't been in. Talking about sharing stuff on your social media, I feel like you've had a
all right.
quite a busy social calendar that
It's
I've
been
not been part of any of.
chaotic.
Thanks.
It has, hasn't it? We're literally still catching up now. That's why we look, well, I look like rough. To
These
round
kids.
it up, we actually put a poll out recently, and basically saying, would you come and watch a live episode of the podcast? Now, the feedback we had from that, considering we hadn't put an episode out for probably a month or two, the feedback that we got from everybody who, clicked yes, or why not on that poll was unbelievable, and it took us all by surprise. And I think something might or potentially could be happening in the near future regarding a live episode, and obviously it would be a ticket-based thing, just to put it out there in that sense. Beth looks confused.
No, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah.
Just- I was
So,
actually
That's not a confused
brainstorm-
face, that's an intrigued
I was
face.
brainstorming some ideas.
do your
in my
intrigued
head,
face.
actually.
Do your confused face? See, it's totally different.
Yeah, it's the Botox. It's
There,
wore off.
there is not any Botox, it's just wrinkles.
So yeah, and also regarding new guests that are coming up on the episode on the podcast, we've obviously got a massive list of people. But if there's anyone, in
I
particular,
really, let me just put my two
on.
pence in. I really think we should get a previous couple on.
we've said this, haven't we? We've
I know, but
we've-
just, I don't know, because obviously I come late because I was taking June
but-
to nursery.
Oh,
I
Not
don't know
today,
what
we
this
just said it in
bring. Yeah, I
previous-
know we have, but we say a lot of things. And
I know, yeah, we do actually.
but there is a couple in
Close by,
particular
so-
that we have already asked, and they said yes. So now we're just going to
Yeah,
get
I
a
know
date.
that.
It's just about when. It's
Yeah.
not if, it's when. Which is lovely to think, actually.
And I think they would be unbelievable on the podcast. But if there's anyone in particular, we have actually put something out before, another poll, no, not poll, questions, and the response that we got back
Is it
was
Paul or Paul?
Paul.
just, you know what I mean, Paul. We actually got one from the bridal coach. She said she wants to come on. Makeup by Carla Knight. We've got to get it on, haven't we, at some point.
Right. Someone said to me at a wedding who listens to the podcast, you have to emphasise, get Carla Knight on at some point. And
So Carla, tell us your availability, girl, and we'll be in touch.
and I think we will. Because not that it was ever a question of whether we would or wouldn't, but I think
After seeing that,
the
Christmas
time's
card
right.
this morning.
After seeing that Christmas card, and she's dropped us in a couple of little
vouchers.
in here saying
They're not
get
even
your makeup-
vouchers,
I know
they're-
they're vouchers. Business cards. Getting our makeup done by her. We might even let her
getting
do
put on the
her
shelf.
makeup on us. Remember like when we did the
Yeah.
the bride shop
Yeah.
and we wore the dresses.
I'm getting worried about you.
Don't get worried about me, mate. It's 2025. We can do whatever we want, bro.
Sad. And we had another one message in saying the tall Toastmaster as a guest
It's also a smash splash shot.
and a celebrant. to their potentials. But we have definitely got a longer list than that as well, who are in the pipeline to come on. But if
People
you've got
we've
any,
actually spoken to.
yeah, and if you've got anyone who you think would be a great guest to come on, we want them on because we want to have a laugh and have a good chat about who they are and what they bring to the industry. But please, before wrapping up, I just want to say, if you can and you've made it this far, the amount of listeners,
Well done.
well done, yeah. It's been a long one, rusty one back, but please just subscribe to whatever platform you're listening to us on, because it'll give us so much love and feels about we're doing the right thing, doing the podcast.
Talking to me, or
talking to the lens now. But yeah, it would, and also sharing our episodes on socials, just spreading the awareness and letting people know, and telling us your favourite bits and what bits that you don't like and things that you want to hear from us, because I think it is a bit difficult at times to sort of see what direction to go in, what people like listening to and stuff. Probably not this bit, my voice talking, but
I was just about to say.
I just seen the charm gal on the board of potentials. Well, we can get it on because my bracelet broke. So, but to be fair, it serves its purpose nearly 12 months.
yeah.
But yeah,
How does it break?
I can't remember. I think it just fell off.
Been at too many weddings, haven't you?
Well, that's it, innit? Aye. But yeah, anything to add, guys?
No, just to echo what you said, which is thank you for everybody coming in and listening to us again. Imagine, what was it?
12 months ago now we started.
12 months we started this off. And like you said before, the 2024 guests that we had on there, that lineup, that roster, if that was like a fantasy football team of like Liverpool-based vendors.
You win the Prem.
It's Premiership every year, innit? But like, we would love to try and top that.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
can.
And I think the only way that we're going to do it is not just by reaching out to these people, but like for yous to do what Josh has just said, which is just to share it around, because it's all based on like reputation and this type of stuff.
Yeah,
they'll be probably thinking, why do we want to go and talk to them theory balls? Because it's funny. That's fine.
We're relatable.
We're relatable. We're people. People first.
People first, y'all. And to that, Beth.
No.
Great, lovely. And that's an episode, guys. So thanks again.
It's a wrap.
Wait, peace.
Please don't.